You know, I may be a father of 3 at the verge of depression. Let's start the show.
And on that note, welcome to this episode of At Random Podcast. If you too are depressed like Andy because you have children, well, it was your own fault. You have to just deal with it. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
But no. So as you can clearly hear, we have Andy today. How are you doing? Other than
I'm
when you're
good.
not depressed.
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. When I'm not depressed, I'm good.
All right, well, that's good. And Ali, how are you doing today?
Stressed.
Yeah, well, you've developed Alzheimer's in the last week.
Yeah.
Literally this week, she has told me the same things 3 or 4 times. Like, did I tell you this? I'm like, yesterday. Or like 3 times this week, you've already mentioned this. And she just, I don't know. You're just getting old.
Okay.
It is time to trade you in.
Thank you.
Any
Yeah.
single ladies out there, make some noise. Holla at your boy.
Oh,
It's just
really?
just jumping in there.
Good
Dude,
on you,
I
mate.
said this in the last episode. You are filing for divorce so fucking fast.
That's right.
It's gonna
I
happen
won't get a
during
divorce.
recording, I bet.
I'll just wake up one night with a knife in my back in immense pain.
Yeah.
But
I've already
Chopped
told
off.
you when I kill you, you're going to know. Because I'm going to torture you slowly.
Yeah, I'd believe it too. Probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably
shit.
flame
Okay,
me or
wait.
something.
Hold on. You know I'm a little bit of a TikTok thought, right?
Yep.
There's this one TikTok where they go like, I don't know where the recording is from. It's from a movie, and the wife asks the husband like, "Have you ever thought of killing me?" And the guy says, "Yep." And she says, "How?" And then he goes, "Wood chipper."
Oh.
Like people who watch TikTok on the reg, they'll get this.
Yeah.
So what would you guys' way of killing each other be? Like, be creative with that shit.
I know how I could kill Ali slowly and enjoyably for me. I'd just get a whole bunch
Yeah.
of EpiPens because she's super allergic to a lot of food. And I'd basically strap her
Okay.
down and like shove peanuts in her and then like give her like, the adrenaline rush so she doesn't quite die and maybe have a registered nurse on hand that's happy to be incriminated.
Okay, cool.
And just slowly and then like feed her apples and then just like over a week just give her all the shit she's allergic to until she's like swollen like a balloon. Then just
I
kill
can
her
see Alex's-
finally with a bee sting just to finish her off.
I can see Ali's face, and she's just fucking, she's mortified.
I am so proud
You know,
of you.
it
It's brilliant.
it is. Jesus Christ! It does seem like you've given
And
this a
they'll be like,
fair
"How did
amount
she
of
die?" I'd be
thought,
like,
though.
well, she wanted to die. She just ate all this food and then got stung by a bee. Boom.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm safe.
That's fun. Okay,
I take your
Ali,
life
now I'm
insurance
curious
and
about yours.
And I go.
Wow. You thought that through. You've been keeping that one. Because he always says, like, he always tells me, like, I can kill you so easy because I'm a very clumsy person.
Oh, yeah.
So it's
that's
like,
true.
oh, I'll just push you in front
Yeah,
of the
it's
train.
probably
You've
true.
already fallen on the train tracks before.
Yeah,
I
that's
certainly
actually true.
fell on the train tracks once.
Not drunk.
Not
either.
drunk in the day on my way to work. Looking down on my phone, I tripped on my shoelace. And yeah, I fell. It was not nice.
Oh.
Well, falling
I don't
2
think you'll
meters
ever have to
straight
kill
down
her.
into rails is not very nice.
It's not a good idea.
And then no one could come into work, so I had to stand there for like 6 hours, like, in pain. Yeah.
All right, and what would your creative way of killing Alex be?
I don't know. There's so many fun ways you could do it. So it depends what mood
Vicky,
I am.
honestly, I'd go with satanic ritual. I'd perform a genuine satanic ritual. I'll tell you why. If I have to kill my wife, I better be getting something out of it,
This is true.
right? So why not ask our Lord and Savior Satan for a little something. I'll give you this bitch, you give me another.
Yeah, it's like
So-
an equivalent exchange, right? It's from like Full Metal Alchemist. You're like one human for another
Yeah.
one.
It's like I give you my wife, you give me another dishwasher, whatever.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe a more up to date one.
For a podcast that's
You
supposed to
can
be about
program.
helping people, we are off to a great start today. And positive energy. I like it.
Well, I'm helping them feel bad about themselves, so that's
True.
something.
And obviously, we don't encourage domestic violence, torture, or murder. But
Yeah, well, a little bit. A little bit. Come on.
okay. Well, I mean, everyone has those.
We did say
tendencies
we were
within them,
gonna
I
be
guess.
honest. I mean, all right. So, what is this episode gonna be about,
This
my
episode
young Padawan?
is about something very close to my heart and something very relevant right
Mhm.
now. It is about The Witcher, the universe,
Mm?
because the show just came out on Netflix. Like as of the recording, like what 3 weeks ago now?
Yeah.
About 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I've loved the games ever since the first one came out. I've read all the books, so I love it. Now Ali's seen the show, so now she's understanding kind of what I like about it, I guess, or a
Why?
bit
Yeah.
more.
Why?
So
Well, I've heard about it for the last fucking 7 years, so it's like I might as well.
Well, did you didn't you like wait? You spent a lot of hours just like me on The Witcher, like playing The Witcher, right?
yeah, I think I've played 300 to 400 hours. I'm about 70 hours into my 4th playthrough now. Or so maybe more, maybe like
So
400 or 500.
I'd imagine like, did you watch him play?
No, I was in Australia, I think, when Witcher 3 came out, and she was living here in Sweden. It was just before I moved here, so
Oh, okay.
we were separated and doing long distance in that time, I think.
Mm.
Okay, cool.
But then she's watched me play a lot of it anyway. But
And he always talks about it, so I've always known. Like, I've been trying to get him, like, the necklace from The Witcher a few times, and then I was like, no, it's not worth it. Fuck him.
Yeah,
So,
he might love me.
yeah,
And no, and the biggest disappointment, I must say, of all, like, this might be a spoiler for the game, but
wait, we should stop right there. Obviously, this has a very obvious spoiler alert.
oh
If
yeah,
you haven't seen The Witcher and you're interested
Oh,
or
yeah.
read the books or played the games, just don't listen to this because we're going to discuss it. So you've been warned. Don't
Yeah.
complain about spoilers after it.
but getting that out of the way, like, when I met Alex, I've heard about The Witcher, I've heard about the games, he's read the books, but especially this is from the game in particular. I've always heard this story about when Geralt and Yennefer fuck on their unicorn.
Oh, the
On the
best
unicorn, yeah.
part
yeah.
of the whole game.
Best fucking scene.
It is. Of
Jesus
Yeah.
any game
Christ,
ever
yeah.
made. Is
Yeah, but the thing is,
wonderful.
like, he
Yeah.
always hyped it up so much. And I thought, and then he showed me the scene, and I was so disappointed because I thought they were actually fucking on a real unicorn, but it was just a stuffed unicorn.
Oh,
Yeah, it's just a stuffed unicorn.
But-
But I mean, still a unicorn.
but still, it's
And he-
they're fucking on a unicorn.
And he makes a
Have
dirty
you ever
joke
fucked
about
on a
how she
unicorn?
washed it and stuff.
Yeah, but still, I don't know.
Like, there's a lot of smutty jokes in that scene. It's great.
Yeah, you were literally playing it the other day.
Yeah, I got back up to there like a few days ago, I think.
Yeah.
Got back to Skellige, my favorite part of the Witcher 3 game.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
just immediately go to Skellige.
Yeah,
Just skip
fuck her
all
on
the
a
rest. Just
unicorn.
go fuck on that
Yeah.
unicorn.
All right, but so for anyone if you don't know and you haven't seen it, so The Witcher is based on some Polish novels originally written by Andrzej Sapkowski, a Polish author.
Mhm.
They were made popular in Western culture when sort of the first Witcher game came out, which I think was 2007 or 2008, but it was only on PC and it was a bit outdated even when it came out because it was made by a small studio. So it really sort of got popularity when the second game came out. And then when The Witcher 3 came out in 2000, I think it was 15 now, 2015 must have been. Then, like, to me, that's probably one of the best games ever made, definitely in the last, like, 15 years. And then
Yeah.
it just blew up, and they did all the English translations of all the novels. Now I think there's about 7 or 8 in total, and now Netflix just released their own show. So, yeah, this episode's going to be sort of covering a bit of everything, probably more to do with the show, because Ali's only seen the show.
Mm.
But she also wants
Yep.
to get our thoughts, because Andy, you've read the books as well, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
so she wants to
well,
know.
I've actually I started playing the game The Witcher 3 on your recommendation. I think if you listen back to the episode where we're talking about games,
Yep.
you'll hear me clearly say that I didn't know about The Witcher until you told me about the game and said, it's if you're looking for an open world sort of game with monsters and horror and shit, which I fucking love, you should go and play The Witcher 3. I'm like, okay, well, I'll give it a go. I did not stop playing this game for like 6 months straight.
Yeah, it's
Like,
amazing.
genuinely, The
Yep.
Witcher 3 was fucking amazing, dude. It
Yep.
made me fall in love with the entire, like, thing. And then you told me a little bit after that, I think in month 4 or 5, I discovered that, like, I didn't know all this, but I discovered that there were books
Yep.
about The Witcher. And I was like, okay, well, I need to read that now too. Because, you can't half-ass loving something.
Exactly.
You do it
And
completely
the
or not
books
at
are
all.
genuinely good.
Mm.
Like, they're actually really well
They
written.
are.
And they're not for children. Like, even though it's a game was made from them, like, they are very mature. It's kind of like Game of Thrones style. There's a lot of violence.
Yeah.
Very descriptive,
Yeah.
like, limbs being sewn, like, cut off. And,
Yeah.
a lot of sex
I
scenes,
have to
very
say-
vivid imagery and stuff like that.
Hats off to whoever made the Netflix show. Despite a few major fuck-ups,
Yeah.
I feel like they did do the stories justice.
I think so, yes. Because the thing we have to separate is that the show is based on the books, and the games are
Mm-hmm.
their own sort of independent stories just in the universe. So that's a
yeah.
distinction we need to make
Yeah.
if you don't know. And the thing
Yeah.
I liked with the show was like, yeah, it's a bit rough around the edges, but I think now that it had such popularity, my real hope is that Netflix is just going to pump a shitload of money into it and really
Yeah.
like up the standard for season 2. Like, in every
Mhm.
way, production,
Yeah.
getting, casting for secondary characters, maybe getting some bigger names
Yeah.
and things like that.
Maybe cast someone differently.
Yeah, maybe.
You know who I'm
Who do you have
talking about,
problems
right?
with?
I don't have to say it out there. I'm fine with Yennefer. I like, genuinely. I hear a lot of shit being talked about the casting of Yennefer. I think she's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah. She's
I thought it was very interesting seeing how she, changed from the pig girl
Yeah, the pig
to,
hunchback girl.
Yeah, to who she eventually becomes.
Yeah, but Triss is
What I
ugly.
think, where I think they dropped the ball like a motherfucker, and I don't think anybody else I think everybody will agree when I say this.
Yeah.
Fucking Triss, dude.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah,
She's a redhead. It's not
Yeah.
even about fucking skin color for me at that point. When I saw that lady play that role, I thought she did very well. I genuinely liked her acting, but that was not Triss for me.
no,
Because, like, in the books, in the game, like, everywhere you've seen The Witcher shit, you see Triss Merigold as a redheaded, pale-skinned female in, like, a
yeah,
green dress.
exactly. And not just that, like sorceresses are supposed to be like super hot, like
Mm-hmm.
super hot, because obviously they use when they go through the trial to become sorceress, they can basically look however
Oh.
they want. So they look like
You didn't think
I don't
the girl
think she
that
looks
played
that
Triss
good.
was hot?
not as hot as the sorceress, like how they're described in the books. Like they are like every man on earth wants them. Like I would say she's good looking, but not like
I don't know.
the sorceress should be like
Uranus.
incredibly hot, because that's how they
Yeah, I
are
th-
in the books, in the source material. And I didn't think she. I don't know, but she's a good actor, to be honest, actress. So I enjoyed, at least, and I enjoyed the scenes she was in. But yeah, I think the look could have been done differently.
But she didn't have like a lot of screen time on the show. Like
No.
I don't recall her at all.
Not that. No.
She's not really a main character anyway. She's like
Yeah.
in the games, she's more prominent, especially in the first game. You can marry her in the first Witcher game.
Yeah, no.
And you have like a relationship with her through the first and second games if you choose.
You can
but
fuck
in
her
the-
in the third.
You can, yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah,
in
you can on a lighthouse.
in the
Spoiler.
but in the books and stuff, which is what the show's following, she's not really like, you'll see her occasionally here and there.
Oh.
And then I think like
Yeah.
for a period she'll be a character for quite a few episodes in a row, and then then they won't be near her, so she'll fall away for maybe like half a season. She won't even be relevant or whatever. So
Yeah. But still, like, stay true to, I thought it was a very bad. As far as hot goes, like, the destruction is all I come to mind to, like, as far as I go, because I
Put
love
a
me a
fucking
little
wig
southern
on. Is it
woman.
really that hard? Like
to do what?
put a fucking wig on the girl.
Yeah, to put a
Make
wig
her,
on,
like,
yeah.
more redhead.
Actually, I would have been fine with that. If she was just a redhead, I would have been like fine. But like she changed completely from what the books were, and like I didn't like it.
Yeah. But I did like her act, and I liked the episode she was in with the Strigo, with King Foltest
Oh, yeah.
and
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
Oh,
sister
yeah.
had the kid, and
I think that's the first. That's actually the. I can't remember if it's the first. Because the book is
It's the
oddly
first
written.
book.
It's like
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I just started listening to the audiobooks because bitch
Yeah.
doesn't have
Is it
time
the
to
first
read.
story in that book?
Yeah, it's the first story in the book.
It's The Last Wish you're listening to.
Yeah, the
right?
last wish was this the first
It's
book.
confusing, the Witcher books too, because they're not numbered, and like
Yeah.
they came out not
No,
in
it's like
chronological
they're
order.
separate stories. Yeah, they're separate stories, right?
No, there's a short story book, I can't remember, that's set before The Witcher, before the main, but the main books carry over. There's like The Last Wish, and there's like a few, the Tower of the Swallow or something, Sword of Destiny, and Time of Content. They're all like one story. They're the whole story. Of saving Triss or saving Ciri.
Mm.
No, is it even? It's not really. It sort of is, but yeah. But then there is a short story book. But even then, within the books, obviously, there's a lot of like sub stories.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a video game. Like he does a lot of like side questing, even in the books, and a lot of like not really main story focused.
Yeah. Well, they did kind of carry over that into the show too.
I liked that too,
Yeah, I liked
personally.
it, but this is where my biggest problem with the show was, as a person that haven't read the books, haven't played the games, doesn't know anything about this universe at all. Like, it's a good show, but the timeline confuses the shit out of you.
Yep.
And I've talked to my
If you don't,
I've talked to my boss, because she's also like, she was very excited for it too, but she hasn't read the books or played the games. But she was like, I had to watch it twice to completely get the storyline. And when we were watching the show together, I kept annoying Alex because I asked him to pause. Like, I'm really sorry. Like, can you explain what the fuck is going on? Because now I'm confused. Because this was happening and this, and he was like, yeah, this was before. And I was like, before what? And then he's like, he had to explain so many times for me, because at the same time,
No, once I made it clear for you. It's basically Ciri's story is the present.
Yeah.
Everything else with Yennefer and Geralt and Jaskier, who's also called Dandelion, same character.
Yeah.
That's all set before, over about 30, sort of 20 to 30 years before the current stuff with Ciri escaping from Sintra.
yeah.
After the Nilfgaardians attack.
And for the people that haven't watched the show, haven't played the games, or didn't read the books, Alex, could you give us a summary of the personalities that are on the show and in the books, like a quick?
Well, the main one, really, I guess, is the Witcher. It's called the Witcher. A Witcher is a mutated human. They take these like mutagen potions. In the main character in The Witcher is called Geralt, who's like a legendary one of these witches, and they're monster slayers. So what happened was, there was a time where they called the conjunction of the spheres, which is where the magical world crossed into the human world after like some sort of magical anomaly. And so people made witches because they have basically heightened reflexes. They train with swords from when they're kind of like Jedi. Basically, they take kids,
sort of,
and they train them. But they take kids from their families and they train them. And there's a few different Witcher schools. Geralt's from the Wolf School in Kaer Morhen, trained by Vesemir. And so he's a monster hunter, and he's the main character. And the thing with witches is not witches, witchers with an R is important. So if you hear me saying it quickly, I'm saying witcher, not witches. But the important thing, now I've lost my track of thought with this. Oh yeah, like with witches is they're supposed to be kind of neutral. Like all they do is they basically, so a town has a problem with a monster. Like maybe there's some undead coming because someone murdered someone or whatever, and it's like they're being haunted. So they will get a whole bunch of money together and they pay the Witcher to come and kill this monster. Because a Witcher has two swords, a silver sword and a steel sword. Anything silver is for any magical creature. And then you use steel for everything else, like humans or wolves or anything that's like a normal animal. Because silver is the only thing that can injure like magical beasts properly.
Monsters.
And then after that, you have a whole bunch of sorceresses. So you have the main two in this case is Yennefer, who's Geralt's lady, essentially. She's like the beautiful long black hair, very elegant. She's a complete nut of bitch, but she's also awesome. So I love her.
Yeah, yes.
In the game, you get to fuck her on a stuffed unicorn in a tavern in Skellige. So I mean, that's pretty awesome.
What else can you ask
Exactly.
for,
What more
right?
can you ask?
I mean,
and then you have Triss, who is. This is a huge spoil. I don't know if I can say this because Ali doesn't know this yet either.
basically, well, without spoiling too much, basically Triss is another sorceress.
Yes.
And she's a little bit of a goody two shoes, I feel like. Like
Yeah,
that always came
exactly,
across.
yeah.
It's like Yennefer is the badass witch.
Yeah.
And Yennefer is the badass witch, and Triss is like the goody two shoes.
Yeah, it does
witch.
stuff by the book, whereas Yennefer literally became a sorceress because she was just like, fuck it, I want to be one. And they're like, you're not, Tisaya, who ran the sorceress school and found her, is like, you're not even ready. And she's like, nah, fuck it, I'm becoming a sorceress, fuck you.
I've always felt like, even in the games and in the books, is that Triss uses magic with her heart, right?
Yeah.
As to Yennefer uses magic with her soul. Like it's more of a
Personal game.
I don't know.
I think for Yennefer, it's a personal
something
thing.
very personal to her. Whether and Triss always felt like she, I don't know, it was somebody that was meant to do magic and just did it.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Yennefer sort of stumbled upon it.
And then yeah, and she just had the roughest cards dealt to become a witch. And then we have Jaskier.
Yes, Jaskier, who's also called Dandelion.
Dandelion.
Yep, same character. Who's a bard. And he's like Geralt's best friend, but is. Like Geralt pretends to hate him, but because Dandelion is like, he's like that friend too.
Oh, he loves that cocksucker.
He does.
He just fucking loves him.
Because Dandelion's that friend that always is getting into trouble, talks shit, makes up so much. He's a bard. He makes everything grander than it is. Like everyone has that friend where you love him, but sometimes like shut the fuck up, please. Like you're talking shit. So that's Jaskier. He's like, and then of course you have the main character really, other than Geralt, who's Ciri, who's the child of destiny. So she has elder blood. I don't want to spoil it, so I won't say some of her powers. You'll find out later on in the show in forthcoming seasons. But basically, so she's wanted by a whole bunch of people because she can be exploited because she has
Ciri. It's not just
she has a lot of natural raw power. Not necessarily magical power, but almost like unexplained power. Like she can control destiny in a way. So that's why all these... So the Nilfgaardians, who are sort of like the evil people, if you like. Like the, I don't know, German imperialists or something like that, if you want to think of them like that. So they're coming for her. So in the first episode, they're invading Sintra, which is a country. And that's where she's the princess of that country. So... Yeah. And they came to get her.
Yeah.
All right. So that's basically a little bit about who the characters are. Now, there are some things that are important to know about Witchers. For example, it's sort of widely known that because of how they transmutate into Witchers, that they lose some things.
Yes.
And for Geralt and for Yennefer as well, that's a big thing, right?
Yeah, they're sterile. They can't have kids naturally. Witches can't, and sorceresses can't, because it's one of the punishments they get for when they become a sorceress and get like qualified. They can basically change their appearance how they want, and part of that price they pay for that, the law of equivalent exchange, is basically they lose reproductive abilities.
Yeah.
So that's where Ciri ends up playing a very big role in their lives. There's a little spoiler, so to speak.
Okay.
Because Ciri was offered to Geralt as under the law of surprise.
Yeah, they go through that.
They're linked by destiny, which you hear all the time in the show. Destiny, destiny, destiny. And then poor Geralt's always just like, fuck. Every time it comes up.
Yeah. But that's something that I want to ask both of you guys, like from reading the books and playing the games. Like, except for Trish, because we already went through this. And
Triss.
Sorry, Triss.
Trisha.
Trish. Not Trisha?
No, it's Trish.
Okay.
Now you're
Fuck
making
you,
me say
Andy.
it wrong. Triss.
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 It was Andy. He was misleading me. Well, anyway, but what did you think about the cast? Like Geralt and Yashke Dandelion in particular? Because I really liked Dandelion as a character in the show.
Yeah, he could have been a little bit taller, I felt like.
Really?
If that's his biggest complaint, then that's fine.
I think, yeah, I don't want to be like...
I loved him.
I thought, like, in comparison to Geralt, he's a tiny munchkin. Like,
But he sort of is.
in comparison to Henry Cavill,
Yeah, I know.
let me just say that. He's a tiny munchkin.
Yeah.
And I think it's cute. It does give, like, the sense of, Geralt being this big, strong, fucking,
It's kind of like Big Brother, Little
monster
Brother, isn't
slayer.
it? Like, he's just a little brother tagging along while the big brother like takes down the monsters and stuff.
That's the feeling you get when you watch the show. It's like you can see the
Yeah.
Sort of the relationship they have in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it is.
But, okay,
So I
but
guess
more
in that
important though,
respect-
like Geralt, what did you think about the casting that they don't get?
I was so doubtful. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna flat out fucking say I liked
loved it.
the choice.
I was super skeptical. I'm like, I don't know. He
yeah,
played
same.
Superman in a bad Superman film.
I genuinely thought Henry Cavill was too young for this part, because one of the nicknames that Geralt has is the White Wolf, the Grey
the
Wolf,
White
the Grey
Wolf.
Wolf,
White Wolf.
White Wolf. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking about Gandalf the White and Gandalf the Grey for a second. That's how I got confused. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, he's the White Wolf, and like in the games, he's older. You think he's older, and then you watch the show, and I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill, he's too young to play this part. They should definitely go someone that looks at least 5 to 10 years older.
Yeah.
Until I saw the show, and then I was like, oh, okay, well, I get in bath with him.
He's
That's
so
fine.
I love that they have the
fucking
bathtub
hot.
scene
I'm
as
good.
well. It's the best that they had the bathtub scene, from the video games, because that's a
Fucking hell,
huge
man.
meme from The Witcher 3.
Can
And then they put it in the show, and it was just great.
Can we just flat out agree, all three of us, that Henry Cavill as Geralt is a fucking snack?
He's so hot.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
I'm not
stupid.
remotely,
Even you, straight
I'm
boy.
not remotely gay at all, but he's good. He looks good. He looks
You
good.
would
as
tap
Geralt.
that.
That's fair.
But I don't know. I just thought he would be terrible, like a really stiff, bad. But Geralt kind of is a very stiff person as well, so it fit. It does sort of fit, but I don't know. I wasn't sold on it at all. But then the second I watched it, I was like,
But that's the thing, because
yeah,
I've been
okay.
watching some interviews with him, leading up to the release of the show, and he's a super fan.
oh, he's a nerd.
He's a nerd. He's a super fan of the
He's a
books,
nerd,
the games, and he's like, when I saw it, he was like, I have to get that role.
And
I don't care.
I'm going to stop you right there. Not only is he a gamer, he is a master race like me. He is a PC gamer. They asked him what console he plays on, and he just laughed and went PC, because he's a fucking boss. What a guy. And
Take
also,
that,
they
Andy.
asked him a
What a
question,
guy.
Harry Potter or Game of Thrones, or something like that, and he said Lord of the Rings. My guy. This is my guy. I would be gay for him, for sure.
Why would you compare Harry
Yeah.
Potter and Game of Thrones?
I
That's
don't
the
know.
weirdest
I don't know.
comparison
I just love his
ever.
response, though, because Lord of the Rings is
I
the
don't
best
think it's
movie ever
that
made.
weird. Don't they both have
But I would say,
magical
but I would
children?
say, Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter makes more sense because there's more magic involved. In the Game of Thrones, it's not really that much magic.
Yeah, true. But
No, I'm
this
just
isn't about
trying
Game
to
of Thrones.
piss off
Fuck
the
that.
Game of
That's Game of
That's old
Thrones.
hat. The Witcher is the boss.
Now we have The Witcher. Everyone forgot about Game of Thrones.
Yeah, pretty much. But actually, just back to
Yeah.
quickly about the casting of Dandelion. The thing I loved is it made me feel how I feel in the game. At times, I'm like, you're really
True.
fucking annoying. I hate you. And
Yeah.
then the next scene, you're like, I love you. Which is how
Yeah.
Dandelion kind of is, just that character that, he's good in small doses. And then I think the guy got that across
remember-
really well.
I remember when I was playing the game, there was this one quest I had to do as just finding Dandelion. That's all you have to do for
Yep.
that quest. So normally in a game, you just get given the quest, and he's supposed to be there, and then you go talk there, and then they say, well, oh, he's over there, and you get there, and then he's in trouble. You save him, and boom, you get a character.
Yep.
In the game of The Witcher 3,
It's like a 4-hour
you have
long
to
quest.
pass by 3 women.
Yep.
Like,
Oh yeah, that's right. No, 3 women and a cross-dressing elf.
You have to like find 3 women and a cross-dressing elf before you finally find Dandelion.
Before
which,
you even get the
you know,
intel
pretty
where he
much
could
just
be.
sets the tone. Yeah, it sets the tone about who he
Yep.
is. I love that. It was an annoying mission,
Yeah,
and I hate it every time I have to play it. But like,
but it is him
it
because
does set the
he's
tone
a-
for.
he enjoys life, shall we say? He enjoys a drink, enjoys the ladies, likes to embellish
yeah.
his stories.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that's I think that's how the book is written, if I'm not mistaken. Aren't you reading
What do you mean?
Dandelion's transcription or whatever? In the end, I can't remember. It's something like that because Dandelion ends up writing the whole adventure of Geralt and him and Ciri and Yennefer into a
Mhm.
book. That's like part of the lore.
Okay.
He like documents all of it, and I actually think that I'm going from memory. It's been a few years since I read the book, so I'm pretty sure that when you get to the end of the book, you actually find out that you're kind of like in Lord of the Rings. You know, you're reading like what Bilbo wrote or whatever, and
Oh,
Frodo
yeah,
wrote
yeah,
for
yeah,
like the
yeah.
Lord of the Rings. You know, like that sort of
Yeah.
style.
Mhm.
But you're actually reading what Dandelion wrote. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Could be
Hmm.
wrong, but something like that. And like in the game, Dandelion narrates like when you're on loading screens. It's old Dandelion like reflecting on the story and giving you updates on like where you're at.
Okay.
Because that's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
he put his life work into ultimately documenting this adventure that the show's going to follow with the books. He made that his life work
Yeah.
and to actually write that into a book so that he could sing
Oh, wouldn't that be
parts of
cool?
it.
That would be cool if like at the very end of the show, you get to see like Dandelion sitting old and withering like around the campfire and
Yeah.
telling the story to somebody.
At like Geralt's funeral or
That would
probably
be
at his
fun.
tombstone or something.
Yeah.
Because Geralt... Oh, and that's the other thing with witches. They live longer than normal humans as well. So I'm pretty sure Geralt, at this point in the show, when he meets Ciri, is like 50 or 60, something like that.
Yeah.
Years old.
something like that.
But they don't age as quickly as normal people. They can live, I can't remember how much, but it's like 50% longer or something. Like they can live over 100 years, I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure. So...
Yeah.
And basically, they're like an encyclopedia. Like they know like all monsters. They like read a book, like a bestiary book. They know like what potions to use, what oils to coat their blade in to do like inflicted damage on a vampire versus a minotaur or something. Not a minotaur, like a gargoyle or whatever.
Mm.
But the other thing I really liked is in episode 3 or 4, like the thing with the Striga,
Yeah.
because it was kind of like a horror thing, and same thing with the Jinn. When they're like, they're doing almost like the exorcism, and it's like has little elements of horror in there that I really liked. Like it was quite dark. Like the scene with the Striga was actually, it wasn't
the
like
Striga was really
like it
like
was
it's a really dark
quite-
episode.
evil feeling.
Yeah.
And I think as more action
Yeah.
comes into the show, like I love that they're already setting the bar at that, because the books are very mature. They're not like, it shouldn't be like a kiddie thing.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
that
they're
that's
very
what
evil.
No, they shouldn't.
I just hope that they don't do the same mistake as HBO did with the Game of Thrones in that sense, that they completely dumbed it down the last 4
Yeah.
seasons
the benefit
because it
for
got so popular.
The Witcher, though, is the story's finished. So they know
Yeah.
we're beginning here and the books
Yeah.
end here.
No, but
so
you-
whereas in Game
but-
of Thrones, like Ahriman still hasn't even released the second to last book, isn't it? It was
Yeah.
supposed to be out like 5 years ago or something.
I
and
think
just
he
never
was
got there.
writing them as they were creating the show.
Yeah, exactly. But he still hasn't even released it. So, but at least with The Witcher, like all the books are already written. So you
Mm.
have like, they should be able to pace it.
Yeah, but the last, because I'm pretty sure in Game of Thrones, like, I'm sorry that we have to bring up, because, like, in the sense, like, this will probably be, like, this at the moment is probably as hyped as Game of Thrones was when it was at its peak. So that's why I'm drawing that comparison, because, like, the last 2 seasons were the ones that were off the script, like, in the sense that they weren't following the books
yeah, they
exactly.
just knew an end point.
But
kind
even
of.
like
Yeah.
after, I'm pretty sure it's after season before that Game of Thrones just went completely to shits. Like, in my opinion, at least. Like, they dumbed it down because it got so popular and people were so confused.
I think it's also the problem with Game of Thrones was the thing I liked about it early on was it was slow paced because it was really methodical about, you know, all these subplots and things. But then I think they realized the problem they were having as well was like, we've already made 8 seasons. Some of the actors actually wanted to go and do other things. You know, they didn't just want to be pigeonholed as this one character their whole life. So I think that was also the problem is they had to, like, they could have done 5 more seasons probably with the source material. Whereas I think for The Witcher, they're planning 7 already-ish.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of excited. The thing I like about this first season is it just set the groundwork. There's just like the background story. There's not too much action, but the action is fucking sick. I love the fighting style of Geralt. They for me, is the best sword combat I think I've seen because it just nails the sword combat.
Fucking opening of that show is just spot on.
Oh, the best thing ever when you showed me that tweet.
Yes.
I need to send it to you, Andy.
I need to retweet this.
So we'll retweet it.
Go Google the Witcher fight scene in Blaviken from the first episode with Britney Spears' Toxic as the music.
It's
fits
fucking
the beat
amazing.
Perfectly.
It's the best thing ever.
The best 2 minutes of your life. Like every time there's a beat, it's just like boom. Like, you know, he always deflected a crossbow bolt or he's cut some guy's head off, or it's like absolutely like millisecond perfect. It's brilliant.
It's magical.
So I'll try to retweet that because it's on Twitter from I can't remember some user, but we'll try to retweet that. So people can check
talking
it out.
about Twitter, you changed our Twitter handle.
I did, yes.
So what's it now?
Okay, so quick public service announcement. I updated our Twitter handle to make it make more sense. So now it's @_random pod. Because random podcast is still taken, but so like @_random pod, and you'll find us there.
Yeah,
but
there we go.
Oh yes, okay. So there is one thing I really want to talk about as well here, which was episode 5. I'm just gonna check quickly. Episode 6, sorry, called Rare Species, which was the one with the golden dragon.
Yeah.
This was, for me, was my favorite episode because it explained a character from The Witcher 2 that I loved. So, in this episode, basically, there's a polymorphing dragon, which is actually lore. So, there's a guy who turns out to be the golden dragon, which he's one of only 2 to ever have known to have existed. They're like the rarest of dragons.
Yeah. Well, Geralt didn't even know that they existed, really.
Yeah, Geralt didn't even believe they existed. He is a professional monster hunter. Like, that's how rare they are. So the guy's name is, and I'm going to try to say it, his actual dragon name. Was it Villentretenmirth? Villentretenmirth. Or Borch 3 Jackdaws was his name in his human form.
How many dragons were there? There were 3 kinds, right? There was the green dragon.
There's red, black, and gold.
Yeah.
Might be white. There was quite a few.
Probably, yeah. They talk about it on that episode.
But gold is the rarest. But and basically in that episode they end up protecting.
It's rare. It's rare to the point where
it's actually a myth, pretty much.
They think it's a myth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's so little seen. And
dragons in general at this point in time when the show are barely seen because, like, obviously humans have killed most of them.
Yeah.
Or humans and dwarves and stuff have killed most of them. So
because of the treasures that they got.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not just obviously they like inhabit like mountain areas, for example, like Zerrikania, where the dwarves are from, and obviously the dwarves want to mine the mountains, so they got to kill the dragon.
Yeah.
But the thing I really liked about this is, so there's a character in Witcher 2 called Saskia, whose dragon name is Sacynthesis. And the egg that they save, the baby dragon egg in that episode, is actually her. So she's only alive because the green dragon that was killed in there, that was her mother, and the golden dragon was her father.
Oh.
So they're actually the parents of her, and she was one of my favorite characters when you get to Eden in The Witcher 2. You know, things like Act 3 or something. Yeah, you can bang her as well.
What type of dragon is she?
I don't remember, actually. She's not gold.
No.
Horny
I think
dragon.
she's gold. She might be black or something. Oh, no, I think she's just a green dragon because her mother was a green dragon. But
Okay, sorry.
but like some dragons can polymorph, which is why. So if you were wondering why a human could be a dragon, why you thought that was dumb, that is actually lore in The Witcher. There are some dragons, not all, but some can polymorph into human form. Because obviously they've just, I guess, adapted or something to, and they're like magical creatures. So,
But is that common
Yeah,
in the lore
yeah.
with any magical creature that they can polymorph?
no,
It's only
There's
dragons.
like dragons, Dopplers. Obviously, they can take the form of any person they touch. I think it is, or they see, so they can change.
Was it apparent in the show that why Yennefer was there? Because in the books, I remember that being clearly written.
Yeah, she's there.
Why Yennefer?
No, she.
Yeah, she's
Oh,
there,
yeah.
but in the books it's written that she's there to get like
The dragon heart.
scales and shit like that because that can give her some
Fertility.
sort of
Yeah, to
potion
get
or
fertility.
power.
Yeah, that's the that
Yeah,
they put it out clearly in the show that why she's there, because she wants
Oh,
the
okay.
heart of the dragon.
Because I couldn't
exactly.
remember.
She wants the heart of the dragon,
Yeah.
so because there's a law that or a myth that you can become fertile
make
if
a
you
fertility potion.
a fertility potion
Yeah.
with a
Geralt bluntly tells her is bullshit
yeah.
because it's not possible, but she doesn't want to listen, obviously. That's actually really cool. I actually only realized I've played this game 4 times, okay? The Witcher 3. I only realized literally 2 or 3 days ago when I was doing a quest with Yennefer where you get a djinn in Skellige because she wants to, like, undo the wish that Geralt said in the episode 4 or whatever it is. And I only realized then that they actually referenced that scene. So the game came out before the show, but they actually mentioned when he almost fell off the mountain going for the dragons.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh my God, like I never... That's what I love about that game. You
Yeah,
just
never
find
realized that. Yeah,
every
yeah,
time, every playthrough, I'm like, wow, this is different. That's different. If I make a different choice,
You want to
this is
know
different.
my you want to know my biggest disappointment in the entire show?
Was it the last episode?
No. It was the fact that no matter what Geralt's house went in, there were never any broken rakes.
Any broken what?
Broken rakes.
Ever. And that's such a big fucking disappointment. Because, like, basically the people who play the game will know that any house you enter, you can steal, like, up to 3 broken rakes. Like, apparently in that universe, every house should have at least 2 to 3 broken rakes. And I was like, how did they not work that into the show? Like, how is that not a part of the show? Just, like, in any house he walks into, just place a broken rake somewhere. I would have done that. I would have Easter egged the fuck out of that
They should have had a scene where
show.
he tries to call Roach his horse. All his horses are called Roach. For anyone that doesn't know, like anytime he gets a new horse, he just calls it Roach always. But they should, and in the game, Roach is quite buggy. Like it'll spawn like on a rooftop or something. So they should have done a scene where he's like, "Where the fuck are you?" Roach is like in a tree,
or just in the
something.
background,
just like derping out,
just in the background, Roach just perching on top of a
just
roof.
like doing bench rather than like push-ups or something. Just like there's like a gif of like Roach in the game bugged out on a bench, like looking like it's doing push-ups. Should have just tried to do that. It would have been great.
Yeah. They should have definitely. I hope broken rakes. Like I'm not losing my hope on this one. I get it why they didn't do it in the first season.
Yep.
They didn't want to fuck around or something like that. I genuinely hope at one point broken rakes will be referenced in the show. If it happens, I'm gonna lose my shit.
It should though. Yeah, there should be broken rakes and like 20 bottles of liquor in every house. Because like every time you loot something in The Witcher, you get like 6 bottles of
everybody's
dwarven spirit.
dirt
Everyone's
poor.
dirt poor, but has a shitload of booze and broken rakes. Or like a pig skin or something.
It's like if that's your investment, like you're not gonna get
It's like
rich,
there's
buddy.
a character like, oh, I can't afford to feed me kids, so I like gave him to the crones of Crookback Bog.
You
But
get
mate,
into
you're a
their
raging
house.
alcoholic. That's why you can't afford to feed your kids. You got 20 bottles of dwarven spirit in your cupboard. Maybe sell some of that and buy your kids some food.
You know, I generally. Oh man, I can't wait to see who they'll cast for. God, fuck, what's his name? The King of the Underworld, fat guy, ex-spy.
Oh, Siggy Reuben.
Yeah,
that's his
I
bullshit
wonder
name
who
in
they're gonna
Novigrad.
cast for that.
He is, oh my god. Oh, I just had it. Yeah, the former Redanian intelligence. He's a fucking...
Let me just quickly look it up.
Oh, I literally just had it, like, right on the tip of my tongue. Fuck. He's a great character in the games, too. I love his development from the second into the third game. Dijkstra. That's him.
Dijkstra.
So,
Yeah, there
so there's
you
a character
go.
called
Fucking hell.
Dijkstra who there's a kingdom of Redania who basically has like a mad king in the third game. He was the former head of intelligence, like a spy, and he actually has a lot of interactions with Geralt in the second and third game, and I think he's in the books as well, right? Pretty sure.
Yeah, he is.
And they have a really good dynamic, really interesting, because they don't trust each other, because obviously one's like a former spy, basically, and obviously Geralt being a witcher and doesn't want to be involved in politics. But like they have a lot of things where they have to help each other to benefit one another, but they don't trust each other. But in the end, they end up actually liking each other because they know that when they ask the one to do something, it always happens because they are mutually benefiting. So they have a really interesting dynamic. That would be interesting.
There's a lot of back and forth banter as well. I can't wait because like Dijkstra is sort of he's in between chaotic evil and like neutral good. I feel like he's like somewhere in between that.
He's a believer in like making a stable country because like the Mad King Radovid in the third game, his father was actually Dijkstra, and his father actually helped build Redania into like the most wealthy, like stable country by giving like proper education, medical care, and so. And then the Mad King came and basically just tried to like fuck it all up. So he left the intelligence because like that guy's a fucking idiot and undoing all my good work. So in The Witcher 3, there's actually a quest where he wants you to assassinate the king, his former king, because he's like, this guy's a fucking madman. Like, I'm a spy, and even I'm like, this guy's fucking nuts. We need to kill him because he's like butchering, like he's like doing pogroms in the street. If you're even thought of being like magical in The Witcher 3, there's like pogroms in the street, like burning people and burning alchemists or mages. Yeah, Radovid was a no.
Yeah.
So Dijkstra, he is. He's like, he's a spy, so he's a bit like chaotic and evil, but he's also like, he actually wants the good for his country and his people.
But for the people that actually that play the game, Dijkstra, he has a very specific look. Let's just call it that.
Ugly. And he has a limp in the third game.
So I'm really wondering how they like who they're gonna cast, because like he's a plump guy as well. Like he's not a skinny.
You could tell he had some wealth because in these times he was fat, and not bloated from being like starving. He was just fat from being a fat fuck, eating and drinking too much.
Ooh, and I can't wait for the. I wonder. Do you think that the there's gonna be there has to be an episode on the Witcher 3 game.
Yeah.
The Bloody Baron.
Oh, the best.
They have to do an episode on that, right?
I don't know, because the games are set in a completely different time in the story.
I know, but how can they not?
They could do an Easter egg.
Like, it was in the fucking game, and I cried.
Yeah, that is probably the best side quest I have ever, like, series of side quests I think I've ever played in any game ever of all time. This is the thing, Ali, with the little botchling, the little, like, baby fetus monster that's, like, so disgusting but amazing at the same time.
Yeah. No, so you were playing it a few weeks back.
Yeah.
I remember you told me that this was, like, your favorite quest. You were talking to Andy, too, about it.
Yeah, it's like, they could do an Easter egg in the show with that, I reckon.
It's basically, it's a short story within the game on itself of a guy losing everything and trying to regain what he once had.
Because he's basically like a raging alcoholic and like beat his wife and his daughter and wife ran away.
There's
and
so
his wife
much
miscarried.
Emotions in that. Yeah.
Like it actually makes you like through a video game, you're like, holy shit, like you're a cunt, but I kind of feel bad for you. So I don't know, do I want to help you? Because you can get different endings. I got one in the first game. I was like, fuck you, you're a piece of shit. So he hung himself. and killed himself.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I got
Jesus.
that one as well. That was the first time I
And then I got one where I refused to help him get his family back, so he got killed by the witches or something like that, by the crones of Crookback Bog.
by the
Yeah,
Cronin.
and then this time I helped
Yeah.
him get his wife back, but she's like fucking loopy. So like, and that's the great thing with the Witcher 3 game is like you can do the same quest and just make what seems like a small difference in choice. The outcome at the end is completely different.
and it will, it's completely different. Yeah. So I'm hoping to see a Bloody Baron episode. I'm hoping to see a Dijkstra. What else am I hoping for? Well, Broken Rakes,
Of course.
Dwarven Spirit. Gotta know. Ooh, and I'm very curious if they're ever gonna cast the other dwarf that fights alongside
Zoltan.
Geralt so many times. Yeah,
he's,
Zoltan.
he's in the books, so
I wonder what they're gonna
there
do
will
with
be
him.
Zoltan because he's in the books.
Oh, is
Pretty
he?
sure, yeah. I think like
Okay,
briefly. I'm actually interested who's going to be cast as Milva. Because she's one of
Milva,
the
help me
best
out here.
characters in the books. She's the archer, the ranger he meets in I think it's Brooklyn Forest or whatever.
Oh
and she
yeah.
gets like
Oh fuck. Yeah.
spoilers. I won't say any more, but she becomes a seemingly unimportant character, becomes a super important character that has like a really dark backstory and like really good depth to the character. So, and I think that'll be happening reasonably soon because she's in like the first or second book. And then she's there for a couple books, and then events unfold, and she splits from the group. But that would be really
He
interesting.
dies.
Yeah.
I'm
She
just
does,
kidding.
She does. And oh man,
Yeah, but did cut that. That they don't need to know
It's
that.
gonna be so interesting with all like this series sex scenes and stuff coming up in future seasons.
He's a kid though.
Nah, there's some rowdy sex. She's a lesbian at one point, which will be coming up probably in the next season or season 3. There'll be a period there where she's probably a lesbian if they follow the books like and don't cut some things
Pornhub
out.
is definitely gonna do a remake on that show.
Oh, yeah.
And I would bet money that there's gonna be a stepdad scene in there.
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
well, a huge spoiler this, so if you know anything about Siri, then that's actually very sort of relevant, what you just said.
Wait, does Geralt fuck Ciri?
Oh,
No.
Well, I don't know.
The King of Nilfgaard, the Emperor Mir,
Yeah,
wants
I
it
know.
back. And even,
Yeah, we can bleep that out, but yeah, I knew that.
and he wants to like marry her so that he can
Oh, he wants to
control-
marry her?
Pretty sure, yeah. From memory.
it's not all about sex.
No, it's
Ali.
about having power.
Some things are about love.
But,
Love.
oh shit, we've been going for 50 minutes or something at this point.
Yeah, well,
And we
you
barely scratched the surface, to be honest with you, which I could talk about this for like
Oh yeah.
20 episodes. I could make a whole podcast about this.
a whole podcast based just on The Witcher.
I mean, I guess to summarize, like, for me, the show, more than anything, I see the potential of it. I think they did a lot of the groundwork in the first season, and now hopefully Netflix
they did a
is
good
like,
job.
here's more money, more time,
Mm.
go make it bigger,
Yeah.
make it grander, really
Yeah.
put the effort in, because this, like I said, the source material is fantastically written. It's a great story, so
Oh yeah.
they have a lot to work with. So I'm really hoping, unfortunately it doesn't come out till 2021 season 2, but I really think they can push the envelope, and there'll be a lot more action in season 2 than there is now. Like now, obviously now Geralt's just met Ciri at the end of the last episode, so then shit really starts to kick off. Kahir, my favorite character,
Yeah.
the Nilfgaardian guy
Yeah.
who's trying to find Ciri, who fights the Doppler in the inn at the
Yeah.
end. He's one of my favorite characters because his like whole story is like, again, just really well written. He's a very multifaceted character with a lot of like different angles going on. That's a nice fart you just let out there, sir. I'm gonna leave that in. I'm
You're
not editing
gonna
that
keep
out.
that in?
Yeah, you were trying to get by there.
I was just like, well, they could fucking shut my mic down, and you're gonna keep that
No,
in.
it's staying in now.
That's it.
That's what Andy thinks of
Okay,
Kahir, but
great.
I love him. I think he's going to be a great
Good.
character.
Well,
and yeah, obviously, and if you are a gamer and you have not played The Witcher 3 and you like role-playing games,
fucking
do
play it. Just fucking
and
do
the
it.
expansions are the best expansions ever made for any game.
Actually,
ever.
they're fucking big. I've bought the DLCs on PlayStation
Yep.
4, and what
They should
the
be their
fuck?
own game. Like they can be their
we're
own games.
talking brand new weapons, we're talking brand new armors,
map.
we're talking side quests, new map.
New main story. I
like,
think
it's fucking
I'm pretty
amazing.
sure the Blood and Wine one is about 40 hours of game, and this is just like an
Yeah.
expansion. This is an add-on, and then there's Heart of Stone, which is like 15 to 20. And then Shani, who's a character from the first game, comes back, and you can fuck her as well.
You can fuck
Geralt's
anyone,
Geralt's a
apparently.
player. No, but women
Yeah.
love witches because
Yeah,
they're
I
like,
know.
you know, they're the big tough guys with the scars everywhere and killing monsters. Probably smell like fucking hobos.
and can we just say, Henry Cavill, you snacky person,
yeah.
you just grunt all you
Mhm.
want, because
Did you hear that apparently he was wearing out all of his costumes because he's so big in his upper body? He was like, the fabric was wearing out because his muscles are so big. He was actually destroying like
Keep
costumes
talking.
all the time
Yeah, he got
the show?
so ripped for
because he's
this
so
show.
ripped.
No, he
Oh,
trained
God.
so much to get into
He's
character.
fucking huge.
Mhm.
Guy's
Well,
enormous.
I just came.
Yeah.
But if you haven't played the games, play the games. Play all of them. Probably The Witcher 1 is very old now, but the story is fantastic. I think it's worth playing. Witcher 2 is great, and The Witcher 3 is probably the best, in my opinion. Definitely my top like 3 of all time, but probably number 1.
Mm.
Because it's the last game that captured me. Like, even now, I'm on my 4th playthrough, and I can just sit there all day,
Mm-hmm.
and like time will
And
vanish.
don't do anything else.
Yeah, whereas like for me these days, like
Yeah.
no game does that to me
Mhm.
anymore. Like I might play for 2 or 3 hours, but then I'm like, I'm done. Like I'll take a break. With The Witcher, I can literally sit there and I could like forget to go to sleep or something. And
Yeah,
just
I've
be like,
noticed.
holy shit, it's like 28 hours later.
'Cause you haven't done anything.
For the people listening, that's Ali being sarcastic for 2 minutes straight. She does not.
She's actually asked me. She wants to play the first Witcher game and actually start getting into it. So
Yeah,
I'm going to download it. I got it on
Oh,
Steam.
fucking do
so-
it. Let us know in a next episode what you think.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it.
No,
Do it.
I'm listening through the books because like I don't want to read them translated to Swedish, which is the language that I would read them in, because I don't like when they translate those type of stories. I don't know, whatever. So I'm listening to it as an audiobook right now, which is a new experience. I haven't listened to audiobooks before. So I'm slowly going through it, but it seems it's super interesting. I listened to it this morning at work for 2 hours.
Mhm. Oh, they're great.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Like, I'm not a big reader. The only books I've ever read by my own, like, free will has been Lord of the Rings, the Witcher series, and some Star Wars novels. Like,
Mhm.
that's literally it. Like, I don't have an interest in reading, but I couldn't put them down. Like, I finished the second
you
or
went
third
through
book
those
in, like,
books.
3 days.
Get out there and
was
read
just
more,
like,
Alex. Jesus.
Well, and The Expanse. I started reading The Expanse series, and I like that because I watched the show, and I'm a huge sci-fi nerd as well. But yeah, the whole... I can't wait till you actually start playing The Witcher. Again,
Yeah.
even the first game takes like 60 to 80 hours to finish. So like all the games take at least that.
Well, now that you got a job and you start bringing in that cashy cash, maybe I can do your job and not do anything.
She's just salty that I've finished the Witcher's games multiple times and she hasn't even
Yeah,
touched
that's
them.
exactly why I'm
No,
salty.
it's not about that, Alex.
See, I love you, Andy. I
it's
fucking
not
love you because you
about
get me.
I can just make a story up.
You want to run away with me?
Just remember,
We should just do
reality
it.
is what you make out of it.
The fuck up! I'm gonna hit you.
The truth is just an abstract concept.
Yeah, it is when your truth is just fucked.
True.
All right.
All right, well, on that note, I guess.
Well, let's move on to after the Witcher saga. Let's move on to a little more happy shit. I got Kratu in the Bestest Boy segment.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, Kratu is a rescue dog from Romania, and I love him. I'm gonna send you guys the video. It's just a silly puppy.
Please do it.
He had to do an agility course somewhere in August of 2019, and he just does not want to do anything else but just joke around and be an asshole. Like, this is a genuine competition where everybody's very serious.
Okay, so it's like a dog training show or something.
Like, he excelled at having a really great time by sitting in tunnels and like happily greeting random people who came to
What a
watch
good
him.
boy.
Like, he's the bestest
He
boy.
is.
Like, he fucks up the entire course,
Oh.
but man, does
We're
he
gonna
do it
have a
with
special
suave.
bestest boy tomorrow. I'm going to save him for the next episode. Number.
Oh, that's fun.
We're visiting
Well-
Ali's best friend, and I love. Tomorrow we're flying up north for 2 days and into the Arctic Circle, and I love her dog so much. So he's going to be the bestest
Aw.
boy, or the goodest boy, whatever it is, for next week because I just love him so much, and I'm
Yeah.
going to take a few videos
Aw.
and pictures of him. We put them up on the socials when the episode comes out. As
Oh,
long
that's
as-
cool. Okay.
Santa's fine with that, obviously, but he's my dog anyway, so I don't care. I'll put him up. I claimed
It's
him.
not your dog.
He's my dog. He loves me.
Well, anyway, Tessa Eagle Swan is Kratos' handler, and she said she rescued him when he was a few weeks old from a very dangerous situation. He's just a natural clown and quite naughty too. He really loves to please me, but mostly himself.
Like any guy.
She said of her dog in a very telling quote. So yeah, Kratos. I'll post a video on the socials, and yeah, you'll get to see him fuck around on the agility course. It's the cutest thing ever.
Sounds great. And I guess just to do the
Alright.
summary. So just to reaffirm it or confirm it, the Twitter handle has changed to @_randompod. So @_randompod on Twitter. So follow us and, holler at us when you got stuff to show us or send us, or if you need to DM us for some reason, you have suggestions for the show, do that.
Yeah.
Also, should we talk about the Discord server idea? Okay.
Yeah, if we're
So
gonna push through with
we
that,
basically
why
have an
not?
idea that we use Discord to communicate ourselves. For people that don't know, Discord's kind of like a better version of Skype, mostly used by gamers. Really, a lot of YouTubers
Yeah.
are using it now as well. So we think it's like basically like a chat forum where you can do voice chat and text. So we're thinking of basically making one like an open one where, you guys, if you want to just come like hang out, or maybe eventually when we get better at this, we could try doing like a live so you could listen in to us while we're recording. We're not sure on that because
Yeah.
obviously,
Yeah.
there are edits and things done, and but
For a reason.
yeah, we'll see. But yeah, so
Yeah.
we'll.
Or when you say words like no.
Hey, so far you're
Don't
the only
even
person.
think it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's
I'm
Andy's
sorry.
third bleep in about 5 episodes. So that's why we can't do these things live,
Listen,
but we're going to try.
That's fucking okay.
No.
I'm doing my best to not say shit that I shouldn't say. That what just happened, that was a slip up. It happens.
It does, even to the best
Okay.
of us. But yeah, we're thinking of just having this as an open forum so that we have a direct line of communication rather than using Twitter and Instagram and shit like that necessarily. If you want to like interface directly, we have channels for like episode suggestions or feedback, so you can directly give us feedback in a more
Oh yeah.
secure way.
And like if we're not doing anything, like we could like arrange hangouts with
Exactly.
you guys and shit like
Yeah.
that, and like have a little chat with you, or maybe like if there's ever a Patreon, like do special things with people that listen to the show. Although like a Patreon page is definitely not
No,
like,
not on the horizon
near
anytime
future
soon, no.
music.
We'll
Yeah,
get there when
We're
we get
trying
there.
to keep this. Yeah. We're trying to keep this free and trying to make shit for you guys to make you guys happy. Oh, and just so you guys know, we talked about a Twitter handle. The Instagram handle is still the same. It's still @random.podcast. So, if you do a good deed, tag us in there. Tag us on Twitter. Tag us on Instagram.
Tag us everywhere.
And post your picture of.
And on
Yeah,
Facebook.
and post your picture of you doing the good deed. Kick a homeless guy.
God.
It's not a good deed to the homeless guy.
Can we just...
Ali, don't go.
Can we-
Don't fucking go. It's.
It's too late for this shit,
I'm not
Andy.
saying
I'm
it's
in
a good
work
deed
all
to the
day.
person,
I
it's-
can't deal with you anymore. I'm already married to this one. I have to put up with this shit
what
all
do you
day.
mean by this one? I have a name.
The thing right there,
Yeah.
sitting across from me.
The thing.
And you wonder why we're going to torture you with food and bees.
What you reminded me. Oh my god. Yeah. But no, but
Yeah,
good.
no, I'm
do a
sorry.
good
I'm
deed.
sorry. Don't kick homeless people. No, give them kisses. Give them flowers.
I've realized
the
something,
stuff they need.
Like something as simple to just talking to someone that, like, especially like older people within our community, they sometimes just want to talk to people and they're just happy. I made a customer really happy the other day, which kind of like I'm not so happy about it because I think he might become a stalker because I made him happy. But anyway, what happened was...
What's going on?
Wait. How did you make him
Did you at least
happy?
get paid
You
for
made that
happiness, or
sound
what?
so
No,
weird.
but
Like,
the thing was like...
how long
No,
did you suck his
shut the
cock?
fuck up. No, but I had this older man that came by, like, and he was standing there looking at like the muffins, and I just remember that he had been there the day before. Like, I didn't take his order, but my coworker did. But for some reason, like, you just remember random people. So, and I was just asking him if he needed any help, and he's like, "No, I'm just looking." And I was just chatting along, and I was like, "Oh, but you ordered this one yesterday, right?" And he's like, "You remember?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he got so happy. And he started chatting with me. We just started talking. And it was mostly just because, like, some people, they just want to talk to someone. And it's really important. But...
It's the small things that counts. That's why I've said in the past, like, if you pour somebody a cup of coffee that you normally don't do, that's stepping outside of your boundaries, just take a picture with that person. Just take a picture of the cup of coffee. Take the picture of the guy you remembered to, like, which donut he picked or which cupcake he picked the day before. Like, just be a good person. Do one good deed. Like, talk to somebody, like Ali said. That's,
something as simple as that.
That's not a bad idea because there's a lot of lonely people out there.
Especially within, I don't know if this is we were talking about this. This is a Western thing in general. Like, we leave our elders behind sometimes, and they get very lonely, and they just sometimes want to talk to someone, even if it's something simple, as silly as talking about fucking what muffin flavor to take, and just asking, how was your day? Like, it's so simple, because you never know.
Yeah,
it is. Just don't mention immigrants to them.
Why do you speak? Like, why do you exist? Can you just fucking go?
Hey, I am an immigrant.
I thought that Alex was being a very good boy this episode. He did not say anything rude. I think he deserves that one.
Yeah. It's a free hit.
Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna drag myself out of this upcoming argument, and I'm gonna go.
You do that. All right. Well, hopefully this was insightful or entertaining. I don't know. Maybe hopefully you learned something, or at least realized my passion for The Witcher. And obviously, if you really enjoy it, send me Witcher-related stuff, and I will talk to you about it forever.
Let's sing this off. Toss a coin to your Witcher.
Oh, Valley
Penis.
of Plenty. Come on, Alex, you can do it.
I actually
Oh,
don't remember all
Valley
the
of
lyrics. I just remember
Plenty.
toss a coin to your Witcher.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But, yep, on that note, toss a coin to your Witcher, and we'll catch you next time.
Yes.
See
Oh, wait,
ya.
that song was from that show?
Oh, Jesus Christ, this fucking guy.
Bye.
Sorry. Bye.
Bye.